Greetings, Patrick here, Half Cheetah Will View. So I was floating around here trying to catch up with some videos, and I saw our friend Kenny Jones. He put out a list he got from another one of his channel supporters, and they were doing the top 25 westerns of all time. And I thought, well, that's intriguing because I'd like to do that. I have 25 westerns I could talk about. So the good thing is that you could do 25 westerns. It could be both film or TV series or movies or what have you, as long as they were western. And so I said, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's saddle up and let's do our own 25. So my 25 is all over the place, just like yours could be too. There's so many great western films, just absolutely amazing films out there. And once you start doing this list, you'll find yourself doing like 25, then 40, and then 60. I mean, there's that many. But I did put out 25. I mean, this could change tomorrow. That's the thing. But as I was writing this and thinking about it, I said, well, you know what? These are the current 25 that I'm going to pick. So let's get to it. So the first one I picked comes from a TV series. And it came out in the mid-70s. It was produced by Jack Webb. It only ran for 10 episodes. It was on the NBC Sunday Night Mystery wheel. And the show was called Heck Ramsey. And it starred none other than Richard Boone. That's right, Paladin himself. And it also co-starred Rick Lentz in the series as well. Really fun series. And some people actually thought it was the character of Paladin who had retired to become a forensic scientist. That's really what Heck Ramsey is. He's a crime scene investigator back in the turn of the century. Richard Boone made it clear that it was not Paladin. He was not retired, but you could have argued that it was him. Great show. Number 24. It's a movie that nobody really talks about it too much, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the simple of the story. I really enjoyed the cast of it. It came out in 2011, and it's a movie directed by a gentleman I talked about in my review of Even Lambs Have Teeth, because I thought about this movie and I thought how well it was done, and I really enjoyed the grittiness of it. And that was Dawn Rider from 2011. With Christian Slater and Joe Hennessy. Just a good movie. Solid movie. Number 23, I put Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch. Now, that was one of probably the most violent movies up to that point in time in cinema. No one had really ever seen anything quite like that before. A wild band of outlaws doing a last stand after robbing I guess they robbed the train for the army, or the army from the train, whatever. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember it vividly. And The Wild Bunch would be my 23. Number 22 was The Alamo of 1960. This is the Alamo that John Wayne directed, and it was the first one that I ever saw, and I loved it. John Wayne played Davy Crockett. Richard Widmark was in it. All-star cast. During the Battle of the Alamo, where 236 Texans died defending against 2,000 Spanish or Mexican troops. Actually, I think they had 5,000 underneath General Santa Anna. Number 21 might be a little surprised, but at its heart, it definitely is it is a western, and that would be Firefly. That is absolutely a western, and if you go back and look at it and see it and really take a look at it, it's a western in space, but it definitely is a western at its heart, and I enjoyed it very much, and that's what I picked for my number 21. Now, I know a lot of people might say, well, the next one is way too low on this list, but it's just how I see it. I'm sure it is a better movie on most people's list. But for this list here, it only finished number 20, and that is The Searchers from 1956, starring John Wayne. It is a rough movie to watch, even back then. Even today, you watch it today, and you're like, damn. But back then, it was lights out, ahead of its time. This is what many people think is John Wayne's finest. Not only is it John Wayne's finest Western, but it's also his finest performance that he ever gave. It all depends who you talk to. But The Searchers comes in at number 20. Number 19, and believe me, I'm sure I'll get some like, what? But I did it. So number 19 for me, for the Western, I put Blazing Saddles. I just saw it a couple of weeks ago. It's a hilarious movie. It covers all the Western tropes in style, and it's funny as hell. It's amazing film, and the ending is goofy as hell. But you know what? You love it. And of course, Gene Wilder and Cleavon Little were absolutely magic together. Richard Pryor was supposed to do the movie, but I guess it didn't work out. But Cleavon Little, you know what? I can't see anybody else doing it. And Gene Wilder as the Waco Kid was outstanding. And Madeline Kahn, Harvey Korman, just a great cast. Fun movie. Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles. Okay, number 18, The Magnificent Seven. Not 1960. Not 2007. Sorry, Haley. I love you. This is The Magnificent Seven, is the TV show. The one that starred Michael Biehn, Eric Close, James Worthy, Ron Perlman, Anthony Stork, and one other gentleman who I can't remember. I love the series. Anybody who knows me when I talk about The Magnificent Seven knows I'm talking about this show. And of course, I also got to talk to Michael Biehn directly about this show, which was like one of the highlights of 8 Questions With. And I absolutely love this show right here. And I put it down for number 18. Number 17. I know a lot of people will pick Rio Bravo. I decided to go with the last of the basically they remade this movie 3 times, John Wayne and Howard Hawks, and I went with Rio Lobo. I went with Rio Lobo. It was a lot of fun. It's like I said, they've done the movie 3 times, almost shot for shot, and but it's very charming. John Wayne is after the bad guys who betrayed his troops at the end of the Civil War. He gets captured by a couple of Confederate raiders, but they end up teaming up at the end of the war to take on the traitor who cost John Wayne a lot of good men. It's a fun movie. The final shootout is cool as hell, and yeah, I liked it. I know Rio Bravo is probably the more popular one with Ricky Nelson and Dean Martin. But I went with Rio Lobo because I like Jennifer O'Neill. All right. Number 16, I put The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, another John Wayne movie. John Wayne was definitely the king of the Western here. But he had company. And one of those was James Stewart. James Stewart was in many, many great Westerns, including a really cool turn in a movie called Winchester 73. A lot of people won't recognize James Stewart in that role. He is not a nice man in that. But in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, of course, we know now that Lee Van Cleef played. Lee Van Cleef played. Lee Marvin played Liberty Valance, and Lee Van Cleef played one of his flunkies. And he basically is torturing James Stewart until he's provoked into a fight. And whereas John Wayne, who's always had his back, kills Liberty Valance from a secluded doorway, and it makes it appear that James Stewart has done the deed, and he becomes famous for it. Great movie. Number 15, my first Clint Eastwood movie on here, High Plains Drifter. Yeah, I know Pale Rider is also a ghost story. I didn't realize that Clint Eastwood had done two of those. But I love High Plane Drifter. That is a very cool movie. Um, uh, John Clint Eastwood plays a sheriff coming back for revenge, but you're not really sure who he's coming back for revenge on. The crooks who killed him, or the town that let the crooks kill him, because he gets revenge on pretty much both sides, and it's a really interesting movie, and one of Clint Eastwood's best. Uh, Number 12, They Call Me Nobody. I had to include a Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer movie into this. Those two guys are absolutely hilarious. They're a couple of Italian stars, and they did a lot of movies together, and this is just one of them, just to symbolize the series that they did, the movies that they did. There's other ones that may be a little bit better, maybe a little bit worse. I just had to put them on this list. This is a hilarious film, and there's several of them. They Call Me Trinity. They Still Call Me Nobody. He did one movie with Henry Fonda. Yeah, Terrence Hill was just an absolute fun guy to watch. Physical comedy was definitely his calling card. Okay, number 11, 10 Star with Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins made a few westerns in his day, and 10 Star is one of them. And this one also starred Henry Fonda in a supporting role. And this is one of the better. Anthony Perkins was young at the time, and he plays basically a young man who's basically forced to grow up and take on some bad guys. And so he does. Number 10, I put Tombstone, simply because Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. Michael Biehn again making an appearance. This is where he became a cowboy star. Of course, Val Kilmer should have won an Oscar for his portrayal as Doc Holliday, and Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer were really, really strong in this movie. Of course, Stephen Lang was in there as Ike Clanton, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton. I mean, it's just a fantastic movie. One of Billy Bob Thornton's early roles. You can go on and on. This is just a great movie of the Battle of the OK Corral. Number 9, For a Few Dollars More. Now I know everybody's going to be picking the good, bad, and the ugly, and they say that's the best of the trilogy. But I really did find the middle movie here, which was actually supposed to be the last movie, if I'm not mistaken. It was actually supposed to be designed to be the last movie, but it got moved into the second one. And this stars Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef as Colonel Mortimer, and they are team up together to take on a very dangerous outlaw named Indio. That's really cool, interesting about the trilogy, the No Man trilogy, is Sergio Leone basically recycled all his actors from all three movies. He recycled them all the way through. In many parts. Different characters, but he still recycled them. Like Lee Van Cleef was Colonel Mortimer here, and in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, he's Angel Eyes. So, but I really enjoyed this. The ending of For a Few Dollars More is definitely the best ending. I think it really kicks ass. The music is Morricone's best score. It's haunting as hell, and that's what I picked. I picked For a Few Dollars More as number 9. All right. Number 8, True Grit, 2007. One of the few times where the remake outshines the original, and this one surely does. Jeff Bridges and Haley Stanfield definitely were and Matt Damon were definitely much better than the original True Grit. Part of it has to do with that Matt Damon, Jeff Bridges, and Haley Stanfield actually working together, which really helped because the cast chemistry on the original True Grit was not very good. John Wayne did not like Kim Darby, did not like her acting, and made no bones about it saying so. For True Grit is 2007 is a much better movie. Number 8. We're going to visit Louis L'Amour. We're going to talk about The Shadow Riders. That is with Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross. Fun movie to watch. This is the first one of the Louis L'Amour movies I put on here. This is a great movie. Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck definitely had great chemistry together, and of course, you know, Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross as well. So true. The Shadow Riders is number 7. Number 6 is a movie that we covered on the IFC MidKnights, and that would be The Nightingale, which is set in Australia. It is a Western film. It's just set in Australia, and it starred Sam Claflin and oh gosh, I should have got her name, but it was directed by Jennifer Kent, written and directed by Jennifer Kent. It's absolutely more. Oh, that's not her name. Well, I'll write it down in the description box, maybe. Or better yet, you know what? Just go to the IFC MidKnights. It's there. All the information's there. We did a deep dive on it. So number 6 would be The Nightingale. Number 5, she wore a yellow ribbon, and that is the Hard Hawks trilogy. That was there's 3 of them. There's 3 films that were in there. I should have wrote the other 2 down, but I didn't really care for them as much as I did. She wore a yellow ribbon. It starred John Wayne, and another fine performance. Number 4, High Noon, of course, with Cary Grant. Gary Cooper was in High Noon. I knew that. He won an Oscar for that movie. And he plays a sheriff who faces off against 4 killers, and the town has basically left him, deserted him. And he is facing 4 deadly men all by himself. And it's a really wonderful character study, and about her profile in courage and duty and cowardice and bravery. And it is my number 4 favorite Western. Number 3 would be The Sackets. Again, we go back to Louis L'Amour. The Sackets was a miniseries that ran on TBS. Gosh, I could actually put Purgatory in here too. It is a 2-part miniseries. Fantastic film, really well done. A-list cast. Too many to mention here, but The Sackets were really good and enjoyable. Number two is my favorite John Wayne movie, bar none, and that is 1976 The Shootist. This also starred Hugh O'Brian and Lauren Bacall, Ronnie Howard, and Richard Boone played in this film. He starred in many movies with John Wayne, more often than not playing the heavy against John Wayne's hero. And that didn't change here either. And so John Wayne basically is playing a version of himself. He was dying of the cancer at the time, not only in the movie, but in real life. And this was his last film that he made before he passed. And it is a great character study of an aging gunfighter at the turn of the century whose time has come and gone, and he is now a relic. And dying of cancer, James Stewart, who also starred with him in A Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, he basically says, "You're going to be in so much agony. I would not want to go out that way." So John Wayne arranges to have 3 men take their best shot at him, in hopes of him being killed by one of them. And it's a really good character study, and it's my 2nd favorite Western, and it's a great movie. John Wayne was never better. My number one Western that I would pick as far as Western goes, it is a TV show. And do I really have to say what that is? Do I really have to say it? No. But I'll let you guys put it down in the comment box what you think my number 1 Western is. I'll be shocked if no one gets it. You guys all better get it. So that's my top 25 Westerns. So yeah, so if you want to get in on that, go ahead and do your top 25 Westerns. And then let me know when you did it, and I'll come over and take a look at it, and we'll have fun together. Yeah, that'll be fun. And Kenny, man, thanks for the list, man. Thanks for the idea. I know you got it from one of your supporters, but now I got it from you. And so I don't know if I'm supposed to be naming names or not, but this is open for everybody. So if you're a Western fan and you want to do your top 25 Westerns, then yeah, jump all over that. And I'm actually going to do something I haven't done for a minute, but I'm actually going to call out somebody to do their top 25 because I'm dying to know their top 25. I'm dying to know, and I think it'll actually make a great video. So, Knight from the Night Watch Zone, I'm talking to you. Let's see your top 25 Westerns, my friend. Looking forward to it. I'm very curious to see what you got up your sleeve. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we will talk at you soon. Peace.